Hey everybody, this is Jason, Zombie Collector, and I'm doing a response video. Now I will tell you a few things because it actually plays into the video. It is for Sconnie Tradition, Scott, 200 subscriber video. Now I will tell you, I had heard about Sconnie Tradition from people mentioning him over the last few months, and I never subscribed to his channel. I never even watched the video. I think, if I understood correctly, he lives up in like Wisconsin or something along those lines. And so I know he's been around, but I just never, I guess, came across him like in a post or what do you want to call it, a message or anything that he posted somewhere, or a comment. That's the word I'm looking for. Sorry, it's late and my brain's fried. So I just don't think I really came across him. But as you all know, he's doing this subscriber video for 200 subs, and like everybody and their grandmother is doing a response to him. And initially I was like, I'm not going to jump in on the bandwagon, but I have had such a fun time watching everybody's videos, talking about their favorite TV shows, movies, music, giving shout outs and everything. And I'm like, you know, this all came about because of Scott. The precipice, if you will, was for Scott doing this. So if I'm enjoying this and having so much fun connecting with each other through Scott's giveaway and response video, that I feel like I need to participate as well, because I've had so much joy. And I went back to watch a couple of his videos, and he talks about how the little things can connect us. And I can't agree more, because we're not all going to agree on the same baseball teams and players and what we collect, you know, what types of cards or whatever. And that's fine. That's the beauty of the hobby. But we can maybe connect differently on movies and TV shows and music. So this is my response video, Scott. This is awesome. I watched your response to your own video or to your own question, so super cool. So I have liked and I have subscribed. I made it official, so it's YouTube official, but it's not yet Facebook official. And then next up, he wanted to ask or give a shout out. Now, this is not going to come as a surprise for some of you all, because I've just put him over a lot whenever I do my live streams. But it's going to be for Matt MP Fox. I looked just a minute ago, and he's at 90 subscribers, so he definitely is well under 100. And so I just want to give everybody a shout out to him, aside from Sconnie Tradition, to go check out his channel. He's awesome. He does videos with his son Mateo, MC Fox, and they're just great. It's a great father and son team. His son is super excited about cards and players, and he already has a wealth of knowledge. And it's just amazing. It's super amazing to see him. And he'll do some videos without his son to just kind of talk about his own personal collection, which is kind of cool too. So MP Fox, check him out. He's a Florida resident around the Tampa area. And so that's another Florida guy thrown into the mix. So anyways, MP Fox there, guys. So the first one up is my favorite music or musician. And so I wanted to talk about that. But when you talk about music with me, just like a lot of other people, we all stray because these videos can go forever because of we talk about our collection. So I'm going to kind of go quickly, as quick as I can. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm a huge fan of blaxploitation films. And so by proxy, I'm a huge fan of blaxploitation music. So here is the coffee soundtrack. I'm trying to like surprise people with some stuff because, again, if you do my live streams, you all will know that I talk about a lot of movies, a lot of music, a lot of TV shows. And so, you know, I'm trying to like throw you off for a curve a little bit here. So we have this. I love the coffee soundtrack. I have my best of blaxploitation soundtracks. And this is just a little bit of everything. You got Superfly on here. You're going to have some band. You got Jungle Boogie. Mama Got the Wagon. I mean, just a lot. Awesome. Funky Miracle. Cool Out. Soul Junction. The Thing. And I mean, I'm just like a huge fan of like 70s cinema, in particular blaxploitation. So I love that kind of music. When I'm in my car or in my house, I want to relax and chill out, I'm putting on some blaxploitation. Then I'm a huge fan of Slint. A lot of people don't know this band, but it's Slint. They are from Louisville, Kentucky, my hometown. They were kind of a lot of the innovators of alternative, kind of like the alternative rock. But it wasn't the alternative rock you think of, like when you think of like Nirvana and Pearl Jam. They're a little bit more off the grid. But they were off the Touch and Go Records, and they were from Louisville. And I just love the band Slint. So this is one of their albums. I just want to show people that. Then I'm a huge fan of punk rock. In particular, Shonen Knife, which is the Japanese female version of the Ramones. They even call it right here the Osaka Ramones. So I've seen them in concert a couple of times, even here got their autographs on this here. But I'm a huge fan of punk rock, in particular, again, 70s and 80s punk rock, not necessarily anything nowadays, maybe early 90s. So here's that. Then, lastly, the only kind of like modern slash kind of like radio friendly music. I love Flogging Molly. So there's a Flogging Molly. I just want to throw that out there. I am Irish by descent and ancestry, so I always got to throw in some Flogging Molly, Dropkick Murphy, stuff like that. But I also like things that you wouldn't really necessarily know. And so, of course, again, just Irish music in general. Then the last thing that will be surprising, but yet maybe not. I love soundtracks to movies that I love. So I will track down the soundtrack and just enjoy, because the music and the movie to me go hand in hand. They're simpatico. And so first up, we have House of a Thousand Corpses. Regardless of what you think, I'm not a huge fan of Rob Zombie. I actually think he's kind of a hack. But I love the music in his this movie and also in Devil's Rejects. This music is so just spot on and bizarre for what he was doing. So I like that. And then I love Rocky Horror Picture Show. Just love Rocky Horror Picture Show. So much about Rocky Horror Picture Show I love. I used to sneak out of my house when I was in high school and go to these shows, midnight screenings, and watch these shows in Louisville, Kentucky with my friends. And they would have the live theater production while the movie was playing in the background, and they would have the show go on. And it was just, if you've ever been to a Rocky Horror Picture Show event, you know what I'm speaking about. That's a whole other video I could be on this about forever. Then I love Clerks. I love Clerks 1 and 2. I love Kevin Smith's choice of music in his movies as well. I mean, he's a 90s icon for me. When he first did the movie Clerks, and then went on to do Chasing Amy and Mallrats and things of that sort. And I just love his music, little choices. He's kind of like the poor man's Quentin Tarantino, because they both have the same, when I watch their movies, I'm watching it for their music. And it's just amazing. I just love that. And then lastly, I got to support a local Indiana boy. And last, I'm a huge fan of John Cougar Mellencamp from Seymour, Indiana. I just love his music. I know even Scott was talking about how for him, he likes country music and old style country music. And for me, I just like old rock and roll, like, you know, Midwest rock and roll. And he definitely speaks to Midwest rock and roll, John Mellencamp. And whenever I go to Seymour, I'm always looking for like memorabilia or more stuff that might be just more local to him, because you know, you never know when you might get lucky. And so this is an album, Cutting Heads, that you don't really hear a lot about, because it was more of his newer releases, and it just wasn't as big as 80s and early 90s stuff, but I love it. Next up is films. Now, I used to collect VHS a ton, but I stopped collecting. Actually, I sold most of my VHS collection. But I do have one movie in particular I like, because, again, it goes back to my hometown area, Louisville, Kentucky. And it's from the director William Girdler. And it is the movie Grizzly. I love, when we talk about blaxploitation, I love animal attack films. And especially the cheesier and more ridiculous, the better. But this is Grizzly, starring Andrew Prine. Who else is on this one? Oh, yeah, Christopher George, Richard Jekyll. And this is just a great movie. They have, like, this does the cheesiest special effects, and it's just the most hilariousness of all animal attack films. But it is from director William Girdler. This is one of his, like, big movies. Like, basically, this was, like, the tagline was Jaws on land. That's the tagline. So it came out right after Jaws. They want to make money off of Jaws, and so they couldn't do a shark movie. So they did a grizzly bear movie. And this grizzly bear is supposed to be, like, gigantic. They have, like, a guy holding a fake grizzly arm attacking, you know, a woman or somewhere. And then it's, like, clawing her up. And there's, like, fake, really looking fake blood. And all, like, her clothes are being ripped. And it's, like, this guy holding a stick with, like, a fake hairy arm as he is attacking this person. It's fantastic. It's just awesome. Another thing. So now we're going to get into movies in general, not just my nerdiness. Now, I'm a collector I've talked about this on my live stream, but I really don't talk about it much on my YouTube channel. But I love collecting special editions and collector's editions of movies that I love. So I'm going to show just some of those real quick. Some of my top ones. I got a steel book of RoboCop, the unrated edition. A lot of people don't realize that you have the collector's editions, the unrated editions, the director's editions. There's not just one edition out there. This is the 20th anniversary unrated edition. And if you thought the original was bloody and crazy, this is like 10 times bloodier and more out of control. So this is a steel book. And then I open it up and you can see it's got the 2 discs. So this is too legit to quit. Next up, you have to have the gas can for Reservoir Dogs. So you just pop the top here and the movie's inside. So I got the gas can from Quentin Tarantino, which again, another great soundtrack. But this is the 15th anniversary edition. It comes with a pack of matches, which is great. So here is the gasoline can edition of Reservoir Dogs. Next up, the steel book of Platoon, an Oliver Stone joint. Another great film, really, really messed up. And again, it's the kind of set up the same way RoboCop is. So you have that. Then we have H.P. Lovecraft's, but directed by Stuart Gordon's, Reanimator, Herbert West. This comes with the actual syringe pin from Anchor Bay Releasing. It's like a thick box here, as you see, almost like a VHS box. And as you can just see the back there, you just see right there some gore-ish things happening. But you here's that. That was, of course, Dan Kane, Bruce Abbott's character. So anyways, this is, again, a special collector's edition. Next up, and I could be doing this all day long. I only grabbed a handful that I could grab quickly. Next up, we have Guy Ritchie's Snatch, which was a follow-up from, oh my gosh, I just forgot what was Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. I just had like a brain fart. But this is a follow-up from that. This is a great movie. It has a fantastic cast. There's a poker kit that comes along with this one. I'm not going to get it out because it's not really necessary. There's something on there, so I had to clean it off. So anyways, this is Snatch, and I love this film. Brad Pitt in this movie, as I forgot what he goes by, Mickey. He has this hilarious, like, traveling Irish gypsy accent. Next up is X-Men 3, the steelbook with Wolverine's claws going down it. This was another collector's edition that was specially made. The disc itself is the same, but they just made this to put it on there. So there's that. And this movie gets like gets pooped on a lot. I like this movie. I don't know why people, if they go back and look at the most recent X-Men movies, they're trash. That is like the Citizen Kane of X-Men movies, if they're going to talk about that. Next up, Total Recall. As you can see right here, it is Mars. And I love this movie, this film with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm trying to see if I can get it out here. Well, I don't think I'm going to. I don't want it to come flying out. But anyways, there is Mars. If you know much about this movie, Mars, you know, people live on Mars, but they can't go outside because there's no air. And they're like, you know, a corporation pretty much has control of all the air. And they're making people pretty much like, work for them to get like a little bit of air that they do have, and they lord it over people that, you know, they don't work for this corporation, that they're gonna end up dying, or they're sending them out to the outer space to die. And of course, one thing leads to another, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's character realizes it's not real, and that there is actually, you know, they're just mind controlling people, kind of. They're like kind of holding it over everybody's head that they're gonna die if they go outside. And then you realize maybe that Arnold Schwarzenegger's character is not exactly know what's going on. It might be just a dream. They're just layers here, just layers. And then lastly, I'm going to show you as far as movies, it's going to be Evil Dead 2, the best in the series, Evil Dead 2. And as it says here, kiss your nerves goodbye. And this is a special collector's edition. It was numbered on the back. This is actually pretty hard to come by. This is my favorite Evil Dead movie. They had Evil Dead 1, and Evil Dead 2 basically is part 1 all over again with better effects. And then they did Army of Darkness. And then they did Ash versus the Evil Dead TV show on Starz. But then there's this. This is a gargantuan box set. There's all kinds of stuff going on in here. So you have a booklet. You have the movie. You got the booklet. It's just too legit to quit. You got little pamphlets. So anyways, you got all that stuff. Alright. Alright, cool. Alright, last up, or actually I'll show you one more thing. Movie series. My favorite movie series. Sorry guys. I actually couldn't find my favorite movie from the series, so I'll show you the 2 other films. But I mentioned it before on my show. My favorite movie, and also it comes from a movie series, so it kind of works out, is Dawn of the Dead 1978. It's my favorite movie. Actually, I didn't grow up with it. I found it in my early 20s. Now I'll be 40 this month, so it's been going on for 20 years. And I love that movie. I've met pretty much the entire cast at shows. They've pretty much helped me just love that movie because they're just such amazing people. So I got Day of the Dead, which was part 2. You have Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. Then you have Land of the Dead. Then you have Survival of the Dead, and then you have Diary of the Dead, or maybe Diary of the Dead and then Survival of the Dead. I don't know. Those 2 kind of like go together for me. So here's Survival of the Dead. As you see, it has a lenticular cover. And then Day of the Dead, this is Bub. He's the very first zombie that ever kind of decides to start talking and using weapons, using like actual objects to defend itself. That later on kind of like comes to fruition with Big Daddy in Land of the Dead. When he uses like a jackhammer and realizes that he can fight and like guns and all that stuff. Like it becomes a little bit more fleshed out. But George A. Romero is one of my favorite directors. That Dawn of the Dead, 1978, not the remake where they're running around, where the zombies are running like faster than like, the human beings. Is my favorite series, the Dead series, but Dawn of the Dead is my favorite movie in that series. Then TV shows real quick. I'm gonna surprise people. There's a Christian, kind of like a Christian like missionary show. But really, it's more like an adventure show, and it's amazing. Like, they go places that, like, nobody else goes to. They only had, like, 3 or 4 seasons. I have the first season on DVD, and I found them one time on, like, some, like, channel, like, I don't know, just some channel, like, at 3 o'clock in the morning, they had the video on there. And I tracked it down on eBay, but it's called Travel the Road. And this is the 4-disc series. And even if you're not a Christian, if you just watch this show, They go to places that, like I said, are untouched by most Western world. The food, the culture, the language, just the way they communicate, what they're willing to do and put themselves on the line for the message. And of course, I am a Christian, so like to me, I appreciate that. But even if you're not a Christian, that's not really your cup of tea, just to be able to say, man, like that is pretty extreme and crazy. I don't think I could do that. This is a really great show. And it's not on anymore to my knowledge, but it's a great show. So if you like a good adventure show that just kind of goes off the grid, like literally, I would suggest it. Favorite show, one of my favorite shows from the 90s is MTV's The State. This is the complete series. I love this show. It's like a comedy show. It's a real gem of the Gen X. I'm a Gen Xer. This is a movie from the Gen X time. So The State. A lot of people on this show you would recognize. One of my favorite shows, also from the 90s, that I'm surprised that no one really talked about, at least none of the guys I've watched so far, and it's also like probably my favorite TV show of all time, is Mystery Science Theater 3000, MST3K. I used to watch these shows religiously. They would have them on once a week, and they started out on like, was it like Comedy Central? No, they started out on, oh man, where did they start out on? TNT, and then moved to Comedy Central, or I can't remember exactly how it started out, but I used to watch it like all the time. And I just love the show. It's hilarious because it's doing my favorite things, taking B movies that are just awful and then just lampooning them and making them hilarious. So this is my favorite TV series of all time. And then lastly, for nostalgia, when I was growing up, my parents used to watch Nick at Night or Nickelodeon or Nick TV or whatever it was called back then. I think it was called Nick at Night.
Nickelodeon.
Is it Nickelodeon?
Well, now it's called Nickelodeon.
Now it's called Nickelodeon. My son's helping me out, but it was called Nick at Night, and then like I guess during like special times they would show certain TV shows. And one of the shows they used to show a lot that kind of got my interest peaked when it came to all things horror, macabre, just subversive stuff was The Munsters. I love this TV show. Them along with Addams Family. I mean, now today's like young people, like my son's age and all them, they watch the show. They'd be like, "This is so boring. This is ridiculous. Like the jokes are corny." And even to me, probably even then, it was a little bit like already like dated. I just love that show with Grandpa and Herman, and then his wife, which all of a sudden I forgot her name. I can't believe it. And then you got Grandpa. I think I've already mentioned him. You got Eddie, and it's just awesome. But anyways, this is a great TV show. It's like I said, it goes down memory lane. I just love this show, and I can watch it anytime. And I used to watch it. My parents watched it probably when they were, I don't know, my age, when I was their age, around 10 years old, when I was probably watching 8, 9. And so I would sit there and watch it with them, and we all would laugh. And this was like brings back a lot of memories from my childhood because of how much we would watch the show together. All right, guys, that's it. I've done a 20-minute video, so that's, again, more than enough. So hopefully you all appreciate it. Again, Scott, thank you for doing this giveaway and challenge and putting this out there for all of us to kind of just like, open up more about who we are as people and not just guys on here talking about our baseball card collection. So I really appreciate that, sir. Check out Sconnie Tradition. Check out MP Fox. And until next time, support each other, love each other, respect each other. Peace, love, and hair grease. And I'm out.